Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Marceline, and this is my video concerning explaining the IDEA and the IEP process. Both processes are very, very important and very good in special education. The IEP helps teachers plan out the students' areas of special ed, determining their eligibility, their placement, what areas they need help with. It's all very important. Right now, currently, I work in a severe special needs classroom, so IEPs are very, very big, very important in any special ed class, and especially severe special needs, because I work with some pretty mentally and behaviorally challenged kids, some kids who have very challenging behaviors, very aggressive, challenging behaviors. And parents' involvement is very crucial in that too, although it's sad that not all the parents get involved. I have one student where the parents refuse to believe that his disorders are and his behaviors are as severe as we send home notes about, and just deny the fact, which is very sad, because if they were more involved, I think it would be a world better. I wouldn't be getting bit in my arm and hand scratched open almost every day just because he doesn't want to do work. So parent involvement is very good. Parents, and when appropriate, students need to be involved in the development, review, and revisions of an IEP. The parent can be included in the decision on areas of testing, reviewing the data, and eventually decisions provided for placement. This is very good, and a good example of this is a different student I have who, he is very smart. He is in our severe needs class, but he is intellectually disabled, but he's showing signs of being able to transition out of it. He now has his own schedule, and we've been working with his parents on it, because the special ed team has decided that he is capable of going into mild and moderate classes, and the high school he'll be going to, because he's in 8th grade, they would like to try him only in mild to moderate classes. So he is slowly transitioning out of our severe needs class, and he's only with us 1 or 2 times a day. By high school next year, he won't be in severe needs at all. So this is a huge accomplishment for us and for him and for his family, because he's going to be able to excel a lot better than where he's been. So that's another reason why it's very good for parents and students to be involved in the IEP process, because that way everyone knows where everyone stands, and steps can be made, like with him where he's transitioning out, and other steps with other students can be made to see where they are academically, where their levels are, and if they're close to transitioning or if they're not close to transitioning. It's very, very crucial, very important. Okay, next. The referral process can begin when a teacher feels a student's having trouble in the classroom. They then can contact a counselor or a psychologist and the parent to schedule a conference The teacher can explain the problems and observations. And again, this is something that we in my classroom go through all the time. So like I said, I do have some students in there that are highly aggressive, especially if you try and get them to do anything academic. I've one boy in there that just refuses to work, and especially with female teachers. And if you try and get him to do something academic, he will just start hitting you all day long. He slapped me in the face several times. Even just trying to get him to do some writing. So we go to the referral process, and we reach out with his parents. We reach out with counselors to try and find strategies to help him. And the best strategy that we came up with to help him is to give him the paper and then walk away and let him do it himself. Because any encouragement that we do gets him upset because he doesn't want to be in school, and then he starts hurting. And he'll either hit us or he's a couple times hit other students, mostly the girls. For some reason, he doesn't hit the boys. So that's another good example for the referral process. We meet with the counselors, and I've met with his mom, and I've had talks with his mom and stuff, and trying to come up with solutions. So referral process is very important. With the evaluation process, before it can even be done, there has to be parental permission. Once permission is granted, the student can be tested in all areas of concern using a variety of tools and strategies to determine what functional level they're at, developmental level, and academic level they may be at. And as we know as teachers, each child can be at a different level. And the evaluation process is very good. I have some students that are nonverbal, and like I said, with some of mine that don't show any aptitude for any work. This is highly important why there's an evaluation process, so we can see what level overall they're at, where their needs should be addressed. Some of the students, because they are nonverbal and they just have no aptitude to do any work, with us in our classroom, it's kind of a trial and error. We're still evaluating. We're still trying to see what they know, what they can do. It's a very lengthy, strenuous process, like the one that constantly hits all the time. We had no idea for quite a while that he was even able to write until we just kind of gave him the paper and just kind of backed away and kind of put him in a position where, made his choice to do it or not. And I did hand over hand with him a little bit, and then when I backed away, I actually saw him writing on his own. And it's, for us, it's like evaluating every day to see where they are, what they can do, and it's very, very important. And testing is very important and should be only done by trained personnel. Right now in my class, we're going through some literacy phonics, and we're testing the kids to see competently where they're at with literacy and how well they do. Some actually are showing that they can kind of read a whole book, at least a small book. Others need more one-on-one guidance and help. So again, evaluation is very important. and understanding students' academic needs. Just going through my list. I just saw one. Eligibility. I just had it. Where did I see it? Eligibility. Ah, here it is. I lost my place. Eligibility is, again, very important. For IDEA, a child should have some form of a disability to be eligible for special education. And that, again, goes in the evaluation process, goes with testing, and gets the determination of where they are and what services they will need. And there is a list of specific disabilities, like specific learning disability, deafness, hearing impairment, blindness, vision impairment, traumatic brain injury, learning disabled, autistic spectrum disorder, orthopedic. There's a very large list. And, the list keeps constantly growing. The more we learn about special education, the more we learn the different disorders that some kids are being born with. And so it's very important to determine eligibility, because if a child is placed into special education and they're not actually eligible, then they're not going to be getting the right academic learning. And it's tricky too. Like my own son, when he was little, he was shy, and the school district that we were in made the mistake of thinking he was nonverbal because he was shy, and then they put him in special ed, listed him as nonverbal, and the teachers were very mad because when he warmed up and he was just a chatterbox and talking his head off, the teachers were very mad that they got a child who was listed as having a severe disability but didn't at all. He had a stutter, but that was it. And so they worked with him for speech with his stutter and then ended up dismissing him from the program. So that was at the fault of that school district for not following proper steps and just assuming. So yeah, as teachers, we really need to be sure that our evaluations are accurate. Components. Where was that? Bear with me. I had it. Okay, components of the IEP. This will consist of several different factors. In fact, that's actually in mine. That's what I labeled it. If you can see, I labeled it IEP factors, but it is components of the IEP. And a lot that will encompass this is annual goals. So that's yearly goals of what a student is expected to learn in the coming year. The progression, how students progress will be tracked towards goals, and it will be reported to the parents, which is very important. As I said, my son was in special ed, and all of his tracking and his goals and everything I got copies of, and I was very appreciative of that, as well as a description of educational services that can be provided to students who achieve their goals, and details on frequency of services where they will be provided, and they'll be provided to the student, and details on how to provide these services in least restrictive environment, which the least restrictive environment is also very good because it helps the flow of the classroom go very well, and helps the whole academic process in the classroom. A lot of it depends on the class, depends on the environment that's needed. Like for my class, we really need a really calm, safe space because there is a lot of high tension with some kids in the class who do get physically violent and have been known to really beat up the teachers and the other kids. So it's important to have that least restrictive environment. And even I went through and redid the class and shifted things around and provided a calming center, which has really helped with the kids. Anytime they start feeling emotional, they go and they sit on one of the beanbag chairs and really kind of de-stress and calm down. And I put stuffed animals in there for any of them who want to hold a stuffed animal, and it's really, really helped out. And let me see what else. And part of the IEP factors is, as I mentioned before, transition goals and services. It says here to promote independent living if the student is graduating or secondary schooling. Right now, for my school, I'm at middle school, so we're really trying to not only promote independent living, because we want the kids to be independent and to be able to eventually do things for themselves, but we would love to get them to a point where when they go into high school, they maybe, depending on the child, like the one child we have, can transition out of the severe needs classroom, can be very independent and be able to transition to like a mild to moderate classroom and be able to do things on their own. I'm really proud of the student I have that now has his own schedule and is coming and going as he pleases with only 1 or 2 stops in our class. It's a huge accomplishment considering in 6th grade he didn't really talk. He didn't say a word. He didn't really talk to anyone. And to see him get to this point is just really makes me happy. It's really huge. Let's see. So and expectations for an ongoing communication between teachers, school, and parent support. Yes, this is huge. Any ongoing communication regarding anything involving the student to the parent is very crucial. I'm seeing this more than more than anything, because it's very important to have that trusting relationship and to be building that one-on-one with that parent, especially if you're going to have that student for a long time. And I'm learning this honestly more than anything, because in the class that we're in, we got a new teacher, and she's super awesome. She's very communicative, and we're learning that the previous teacher never communicated with the parents, involving a lot of the tensions in the class with some of the students who gets aggressive and physically violent. We have one that is volatile and highly unpredictable and gets violent on a regular basis, and there's a lot of tension in the class with it, because the previous teacher apparently never communicated, rarely I should say, with the parents about everything that was going on with the class. She only did it once or twice, but she never told the parents on a daily basis, so-and-so beat your daughter, punched your daughter, so-and-so did this to your daughter, or so-and-so did this to your son. So now that we are taking those steps, there's a lot of high tension with the parents. They are angry, and they are on a rampage. So this is why communication is so key, because now, in a way, we are getting the backlash of 2 or 3 years of miscommunication from the previous teacher with parents, when they were never told anything about what was going on in the classroom with their kids and how their kids were doing. And so yeah, ongoing communication between teacher, school, and parent is very, very vital. Because I know if it were my child and I never heard that my child was getting hit by a student in the classroom that is unpredictable and gets violent, and it was going on for a long time, I know I would be very upset if I'm hearing it from my child but not hearing it from the teacher. And then you get a new teacher in, and the new teacher's sending notes home all the time, but yeah, I never got it before. This is why, as teachers, even if it's hard, we need to keep communication with parents, because my classroom, the parents are just about to pull their kids out because they are they feel lied to, and they're tired of not being told anything, because for several years the other teacher never said a word. And to me, that goes into the ethical responsibilities of a teacher. To me, that is unethical for that teacher that previously was in my classroom to not be open, honest with the parents about anything that was going on. And that's why also, teachers, we need to remember our ethical practices. These students are not just children, but they are someone else's children. And we're supposed to be building good relations with the parents. Relations where the parents feel that they can trust their kid to be in our classroom, and if anything happens, that they can trust that we will let them know. So again, ethics and honest communication, very important. And it all, everything of this, even going back to parent, guardian, and student involvement, the expectations of ongoing communication and ethics tie into that, and it ties into everything to do with parent involvement, referrals, evaluation, eligibility, and their IEP plan. Everything ties into one. And as teachers, we really need to work hard to follow each step and provide a safe and welcoming atmosphere for our students. Thank you.